What's up, guys? Glad to finally get this video out to you. This video, we're just starting on DJ's K-swap hatch build. I'm sure you've heard about it already. If you haven't, cool. Basically, we just kind of go through the process of what we're doing while we're doing this K-swap. In this video, we get the D-series out of the EF hatch, and we get the K-swap in, and I'll show you all the details with the hash port mounts and everything. And we also kind of show a few modifications that we have to do to the hood, and installing the swap headers and the traction bar. So yeah, check it out. And if you have any questions, if you're doing it yourself and you have any questions, or you just want to hit me up, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you, and maybe get a little bit more in depth if I need to, and I'll make a video. It's all cool. We can do that for sure. Really just trying to figure out what's the best way to bring this content to you guys. Excuse the quality. We're working on that. And videoing my process and everything is still new to me. I'm just used to getting in there. If you notice, sometimes I'm already have something done before I've videoed it. So I'm still trying to get used to the process of making these videos, but I definitely want to do it because I want to bring you guys value, and I kind of want to bring you guys into the seamless garage to show y'all what we're doing, anytime we're in the shop, and what we got going on. So yeah, without further ado, here's the video. Finally got her in the shop. Getting ready to mock up the K-series. Got the infamous Derek.
Yes, sir.
In the house today, and Deej, of course. He wouldn't let us work on it without him being here. It's his project. But this is actually the Z. We're gonna get rid of this engine, and we got an A2 that we're gonna put in. We're gonna separate these first real quick. Put the K24A2 on it, and it's got a better head, so that's why we're doing that. And then we're gonna mock it up today. I'm gonna put it in this bad boy. So far, so good on the hatch swap here. We're still trying to get the engine out. Got the axles out and got all the unnecessaries out, I like to call it. But one problem we ran into, where's that flashlight at there? One problem we ran into, I don't know why they did it, I have no clue, but the shifter linkage, I don't know if you can see down there, but the shifter linkage, there's a roll pin right above the flashlight there that you have to get out in order to get the shifter linkage off the trans. Why Honda did it this way, I'm not sure. Maybe some of you Honda fanboys can tell me. But look at the linkage. Look at how meaty that linkage is. That's shifter linkage. No cables, no nothing. Just a big old piece of metal. 2 tubes, man. Holding that together. But they used a roll pin. So anyway, before the really loud compressor interrupted us. So passenger side here. Check this out. Normal looking axle, I guess, especially for a 4-cylinder with like 108 horsepower. No big deal. Driver's side. Now does this or does this not look like a stage 4 drive axle for a turbo car? I don't know what they were doing. Maybe a little overkill for Honda there. Don't know. But so far, learning a little bit. 12s and 17s are what you're going to need, ladies and gentlemen. And Derek said a 10 occasionally. But yeah, 17s. They do like 17s on these. A little overkill.
It'll be alright.
We got it.
Now I gotta get to this hole. Can it pull anymore?
Go the other way with it, maybe.
And that's gonna be.
Try it.
What else is wrong? Needs to come that way. Needs to go.
Towards these?
Uh-huh.
I don't think we got room.
That was stupid AC compressor.
We can take that off.
Take that motherfucker off.
That's what I'm saying. Take that motherfucker
There
off.
we go. There we go.
There we go. Let's come on
Just
up.
wiggle it a little bit. That girl wants to come out.
Make sure ain't nothing hanging in the back.
I think it's good. Yeah, we still got this cable on the transmission. Yeah.
So I didn't get to really show much because, like I said, I forgot to video some of this. But if you've ever removed an engine before, this is one of the easiest engines to remove from the body. But if you haven't, you know, removing an engine sounds kind of daunting and scary and intimidating, but it's really not, especially if you've been turning wrenches. And like I said, this is one of the easier ones to do. So since I didn't show you, we had to take the front core support out, remove the radiator, all that junk, radiator fans, all that junk to get it out of the way. We were going to throw that away anyway, so we didn't need it, so that's why we pulled it out. I think it was going to need to come out anyway, so obviously we disconnected the AC lines, we drained the coolant out. You can drain the trans if you want. I think, yeah, we did drain the trans, so drain the trans if you want so you don't get gear lube everywhere. Take the exhaust manifold off, remove the fuel lines, you know, you kind of get it. Remove the heater lines, remove the shifter cable, remove the throttle cable, and then obviously unbolt the mounts and stuff. And then also you seen where we had to cut the exhaust because the bolts were rusted into the actual downpipe, so we had to cut those off. And we also had to cut the shifter linkage because of that dowel pin that I showed you. So yeah, that's pretty much what's required to pull that engine, but it took us maybe an hour to get that engine out. Oh, also, I forgot to mention pulling the axles, obviously, to get them away from the transmission. That way you can get it up and out. But after that, it's easy going. You just pull it out, and then we move on to the next one.
Right there, Steve.
Yep. How you do the honors, bro? You get to pull her out.
Come on with it, man. Y'all did all the work.
It's the boys right here. The Seamless Squad. Let's get it. First project. Alright, I think we're good.
Get out of there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at that smile on his face. He's happy to get it out of there. Ooh wee. Look at all that room for activities. All that room. Is she gonna fit in there?
You still gonna keep that headed?
We're gonna find out. So right here you see me drilling into the what was the transmission mount on the EF chassis of the Civics. It's one of the mounts that you have to remove if you're going to do a K-swap. You've got to drill out the little welds that weld it to the body, and then bang it off. We didn't video me, beating on it to bang it off, but that's what we're doing right now, is drilling out all the little welds that it has in it. I think it had probably 8 or 10 welds that we had to drill out and then bang it off. And then you'll see DJ do the finishing touches on grinding off the excess, because right over there to the left of where I'm drilling, more to the front of the car, that's where the actual front mount for the new K-swap engine is going to be. So we had to get that out of the way. Alright. Those are good. Go to the next one. Where's it going to be at? Just got finished removing that trans mount on that side. That trans mount is in the way, so Hasport has a replacement one for the K series that we'll have to put on along with the other K series mounts. It's a whole lot of chain to hold that up. And actually decided to go with the K24A because Mr. Deej can't make up his mind what he wants. That's going to be the better option though. Main reason is just because of the exhaust. See how that's a regular manifold? If you go look at this other one, which it's up against the wall so it's hard to see, but the collectors actually go down. Let's see if I can get a good video of it. Let's see. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, on the actual Z, the manifold's actually part of the head, so there's not a whole lot of aftermarket applications that you can use this for. So we opt for the A. Plus, there's just a whole lot of aftermarket parts for that one versus this. Who would have thought, these? After all these years, we'd actually be swapping a K and an EF hatch, man. We've been talking about it for a long time. So we got the Hasport mounts. This is the rear transmission mount here. The one for the front of the engine on the old style D series stays. We don't actually need to change that. We're just going with the Hasport polyurethane mount there, and then in the front we had to relocate. You saw us remove that. Remove the old trans mount, so now, but it's going to be engine mount. It's actually flipped, so the engine's on the passenger side now. So that mount's going to be there with this polyurethane. Beautiful, beautiful billet aluminum. And then on this side, you've got the mount for the front of the engine that you've got to change. And we had to move the power steering pump out of the way, so no power steering on this ride. Don't need it, race car. So. But the rear wishbone here, or not a wishbone, but I call it a dog bone. It's for the transmission. It's the torque mount. So that's what's going to be going to that back one. And then no front mount. So no need for that. But I will say, if you're going to do this job, the cross support bar that goes right here, it needs to be taken out. We're going to mock it up to see if it'll actually fit back in there. But usually you have to go with a mount across the front. It's a stabilizer link and then goes to the actual lower control arm from there. So from here all the way over there, both sides to stabilize, because you've only got one lower control arm there, so it's kind of wobbly. That's the whole support for the suspension system itself. So, but what is it? K-Tune makes one of those. Is it K-Tune? Yeah. So K-Tune makes one of those. I'm sure there's some other brands too, but that's what we're going with. Drop a swap, bro. Drop a swap. Hey guys, before we show y'all putting the actual K-swap in the hatch, I wanted to let you guys know that the Seamless Garage has a podcast. It's all about cars, all about performance, and all about the shop. So anywhere from mechanics and technicians, car enthusiasts, all the way to the person that's just trying to learn how to work on cars, or do something themselves, or just someone who works, or I mean not works, but owns a car or wants to buy a car. We give information on buying used cars and things like that. We're on our 12th episode, so go look us up on Spotify, Google, Apple, Anchor, all the podcast platforms. Just go search the Seamless Garage podcast and you'll find Derek and I on there. Coming up soon, we're going to be having a lot of interviews with other car enthusiasts. We're going to do features on the YouTube channel as well. But yeah, go check that out. Just want to let you know that. Figured you guys might want to know that. And further ado, let's get on to the K24 swap. Hold on. Lift it back. Actually, we had to flip over this trans mount. You okay, D?
I'm good.
We had to flip over this trans mount because I had it upside down. DJ tried to tell me that it needed to go this way, but I wanted to argue with him, so we finally got it in there the right way, and it's sitting a whole lot better now. It's sitting level. I still think we're going to have a hood issue with it. Let's see, let's look at the clearance here. See, you got about an inch or so of engine sitting over the top, and to me the intake manifold is what hits more than anything. What do you think, DJ?
You're right. I think you're right.
I think it's the intake manifold.
Yeah.
All that air coming through there. So much room back here. I see why people turbocharge them. So much room. Maybe not enough though. We're gonna see when we try to test fit this header. We're expecting it to hit down here, but we'll show y'all all that. And we've also got the traction bar getting ready to be put in for the front. I don't think, second thought, I don't think that this traction bar or this front mount that we had would have hit, but I just think that it's going to be a cleaner look and minimalist. I think that other one could have been an issue. I don't know. But so the K-Tune header we used, it was for a swap EF. So it fits perfectly actually. We'll probably have to do a little bit of cutting right here maybe to come back flush with this mount. But as you can see, we actually have a gap right there. Most of them hit, so we're already ahead of the game when it comes to the header. So I highly suggest that EF swap header if you're doing this from K-Tune, because it seems to be fitting pretty flawlessly, and it's not hanging down too low in the rear either. So that's pretty solid. We got the torsion bar kit here for the front end. Got the bar and the two links and some hardware here. I'm gonna try to mount it in there. So you'll have to take out the two toe hooks on both sides, and that's where it bolts in. Give it some more rigidity to the frame. It's gonna need that with the extra horsepower it's gonna have. Got it in pretty flawlessly with the torsion bars there. You won't be able to see it from the back. Put the wheel on. You put this big K24 engine in here though. Start looking at that oil pan. You got about 5 inches of clearance right there from the ground. There ain't no slamming this thing. It's either power or slamming it. You can't do both. For the K24 101. Get in there. notching out the hood so we can clear. Let's see if it'll hit. It's hitting right here on the valve cover. It's also hitting the manifold a little bit. We're going to start on the big problem. So let's see what after the hood modifications, had to cut there. Just kind of cut the skeleton off of it. Down here on the intake manifold, we had to shear this little piece off. It was just a boss for a bolt. I think it was to hold a cover on probably. And also, if you're gonna go with the stock hood, this hits and this hits. So the dipstick and the filler cap, you can both get ones that are flush, that are shaved basically. But other than that, let me just show you how let's show you how close we got. Would you believe there's a K24 in there? I don't know. But it's pretty close. But you can see there's some room to play with. And like I said, it goes lower with the dipstick and the cap off. But we're going with a different hood anyway that doesn't have the skeleton on it, and it comes up. So here where it would go down, it actually comes up some. Gives you plenty of room for that K24 to be in there. So that's what we're gonna go with. But yeah, this is what it looks like. We're starting to get there. Starting to get there, Deej. What do you think?
Trying to get there.
One part at a time, but it's getting there. We'll check back in when we get some more parts.